What a year 2019 has been so far. This year has flown by so fast and we are already almost into November of 2019. And with it being a new month coming up, of course on the channel I'm going to do a video telling you about the upcoming Nintendo Switch games that I think deserve your attention. So in today's video I have 11 Nintendo Switch games coming out in the month of November 2019 that I think you should check out. So be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already so that you can join the RetroWolf family, and let's take a look at these 11 games coming out in November that you should probably be paying attention to. Releasing on November 1st, digitally only for $6.99 is a little game called Spirit Roots. Straight from Nintendo.com, run, jump, fight, avoid traps, collect coins, and beat bosses in this fun and family-friendly platformer adventure. In each of the 5 worlds, you will discover new challenges and enemies and evolve in unique and fantastic scenarios. What exactly can you expect with Spirit Roots? Wonders and variety, 50 levels in 5 worlds with their own atmospheres, enemies, mechanics, and music. Platformer gameplay, run, jump, collect items, and fight mean creatures on the way. Epic boss battles, farmer robots, huge spiders, flying skulls, mud monsters, we've packed it all into our game. This actually looks like a decent little 2D action platformer and it has a pretty cool art style, and it's also a budget title on the list at only $6.99 and may be worth checking out. So get ready to enjoy what looks to be a fun budget 2D platformer when Spirit Roots releases on November 1st. On November 5th we have Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, releasing both digitally and physically for $59.99. Straight from Nintendo.com, celebrate the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 with your favorite characters, loads of events, and so many ways to enjoy the party on your Nintendo Switch. Have a blast completing with your friends in 30 plus action-packed 3D and classic 2D sports games, including new events for Tokyo 2020. Compete in all new Olympic sports such as skateboarding, surfing, sport climbing, and karate, and a variety of events including archery, gymnastics, judo, boxing, marathon, football, equestrian, track and field, and many more. Experience the Olympic Games in a brand new way with 10 nostalgic 2D events that bring Mario, Sonic, and friends back to their classic roots. Choose from an incredible cast of characters including Mario, Luigi, Sonic, Tails, Yoshi, Amy Rose, Waluigi, Dr. Eggman, and many more. There are so many ways to play on your Nintendo Switch. Enjoy a variety of playstyles, including motion and button controls, single and dual Joy-Con, single player and multiplayer, local and online. This game actually looks like a lot of fun, and I really like the looks of that 2D mode. It looks really cool, and I've actually never played a Mario and Sonic Olympic game, so I'm kind of intrigued to give this one a try. Prepare to compete with your friends and family as your favorite Mario and Sonic characters when Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 releases on November 5th. Coming to us both digitally and physically for $39.99 on November 8th is a 3D platformer called New Super Lucky's Tale. The following information comes to us straight from Nintendo.com. Run, jump, climb incredible heights, burrow deep underground, overcome enemies, and explore amazing worlds on this epic quest to rescue the Book of Ages from the mysterious Jinx and his nefarious kitty litter. Experience an incredible variety of gameplay ranging from 3D open world hubs to story-based adventure levels to 2D side-scrolling challenges, rewarding mini-games, mind-bending puzzles, thrilling boss battles, and a memorable cast of characters. A true love letter to classic 3D platformers with hundreds of collectibles together, tons of rewarding secrets to unlock, and an entire wardrobe of costumes for the stylish adventurer. New Super Lucky's Tale features all new levels, story, cinematics, and character dialogue, tighter movement and player controls, a fully rotatable 3D camera, and sweet upgrades to nearly every other aspect of the game, including art and lighting, UI, sound, music, and more. I absolutely love 3D platformers, and I have to admit, New Super Lucky's Tale looks like an absolute blast of a 3D platformer, and it looks like it might scratch that 3D platformer itch I'm feeling right now. You can also scratch that 3D platforming itch when New Super Lucky's Tale releases on November 8th. What? Next up on November 8th, releasing digitally for $12.99 is a shmup called Sturmwind EX. Straight from Nintendo.com, Sturmwind EX is a shoot 'em up in the tradition of old arcade games. If it moves, shoot it. You can play mission mode with all 16 levels with saving your progress with every finished level, or arcade mode with 6 levels and no continues. 2 different game modes, mission mode and arcade mode. 16 levels, 3 difficulty levels, different weapons selectable, upgradable weapons, drones and different weapon/drone formations, additional super weapons like super beam and smart bombs, more than 20 large boss enemies, hundreds of different enemies, achievements, high score and level statistics, customizable user interface. I'm actually always on the lookout for a good shmup, and Sturmwind EX certainly seems to be one, and for a good price too. You can play this awesome looking traditional shoot 'em up when Sturmwind EX releases on November 8th. On November 12th, releasing digitally only for $19.99 is Thief of Thieves Season 1. Following information comes to us from Steam. In Thief of Thieves Season 1, you play as a cat burglar using stealth, social engineering, and team members to pull off some high-profile heists across the world. Based on the award-winning comic book series by Robert Kirkman, Thief of Thieves Season 1 is a story of heists and the people behind them. It's time for Celia, protege of Master Thief Redman, to make the leap from apprentice to master. A botched job takes Celia to Europe, where she joins a new team of criminals for a crime spree. Get to know your team, choose your approach on the field, but be careful, the choices you make may have drastic consequences. A new continent and a new team, will you make the cut? Key features include: the story is told via comic frames and gameplay, where Celia makes her way through scenes ranging from cocktail parties to construction yards by using her skills in social engineering and sneaking, never violence. Unique visual style combining hand-drawn 2D comics and 3D environments into one seamlessly flowing story experience. A tailor-made story. The choices you make shape the narrative and build the relationships with your team members. Thief of Thieves looks like a very interesting stealth/heist game, and I really like the comic book art style. Looks like a good time with a great story to me. You will be able to sneak and steal anytime from anywhere when Thief of Thieves Season 1 releases on the Nintendo Switch on November 12th. Also on November 12th, releasing both digitally and physically for $39.99 is Bee Simulator. I'm not entirely sure why, but this game is very intriguing to me. Following information comes to us from Steam. When the first rays of sunlight rise above the horizon, the beehive slowly wakes up. Hierarchy and diligence are vital for the well-being of the whole swarm. So you check your wings, measure the antenna degree of deviation, take orders from the queen, and begin your first independent mission. And that's just the beginning of your adventure. Suddenly, you learn that people want to cut down the tree that holds your hive. Now your fate and the fate of your whole family lies in your single agile legs and fast wings. A unique chance to see the macro world from the micro perspective of a honeybee. A realistic representation of a place inspired by Central Park. 3 diverse modes enriched with educational elements. 1 player story mode presents you with a family of bees. Will you save the hive from the threat of human beings? Exploration mode allows you to freely discover a world inspired by Central Park in New York. Split screen mode can either be used for cooperation or competition. It includes an additional map that make the game even more fascinating. A possibility to interact with the surroundings, people, animals, plants, and other insects. Lack of violence. It's a perfect choice for parents seeking a game to safely play with their children. Relaxing music composed by Mikolaj Stroimsky, who was responsible for the soundtrack of such games as The Witcher 3 and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Bee Simulator looks like a very unique game, and I'm actually very interested in this one. I like the idea of exploring a huge realistic world from the perspective of a bee, and the fact that it has split screen co-op makes it even more awesome. You can be the best bee you can be when Bee Simulator releases on November 12th. If I ever say that again, I want you to punch me in the face. Not a problem. I probably just lost a couple of subs with that one. Next up on November 14th is Sparklite, releasing digitally for $24.99 or physically for $34.99. Straight from Nintendo.com, Sparklite is an action-adventure set in the whimsical and ever-changing land of Geodia. Battle foes and top-down action using an arsenal of gadgets, guns, and gear. Explore dangerous corners of the procedurally generated world, take down titans of the mining industry, and harness the power of Sparklite. Some of the key features include stunning visuals, intricate pixel art aesthetic inspired by retro classics. Original soundtrack, GameCube-inspired soundtrack by composer Del North of The Wizard of Legend. Explore the world of Sparklite. 5 beautiful procedurally generated biomes, invent your arsenal, invent gadgets to solve puzzles and defeat enemies, boss battles, take on the barren mining core and its formidable gremlin titans, meet the locals, befriend the people of Geodia and help build the refuge, hunt collectibles, discover collectibles scattered throughout the world, buddy up, rescue Ada's robotic sidekick to play local assistive co-op with a friend. So Sparklite's pixel art visuals are absolutely gorgeous and they sort of remind me of Moonlighter in a way. This game looks like an absolute blast and it is right up my alley. Prepare to explore and battle your way through the land of Geodia when Sparklite releases on the Nintendo Switch on November 14th. On November 15th is probably the biggest release of the year for the Nintendo Switch, or one of the biggest releases of the year, and that is Pokemon Sword and Shield, coming to us digitally and physically for $59.99. Straight from Nintendo.com. Begin your adventure as a Pokemon trainer by choosing one of 3 partner Pokemon, Grookey, Scorbunny, or Sobble. Then embark on a journey in the New Galar region where you'll challenge the troublemakers of Team Yell while unraveling the mystery behind the legendary Pokemon Zacian and Zamazenta. Explore the Wild Area, a vast expanse of land where the player can freely control the camera. Team up with 3 other players locally or online in the new multiplayer co-op Max Raid battles, in which players will face off against gigantic and super strong Pokemon known as Dynamax Pokemon. Catch, battle, and trade Pokemon on a new adventure in the Galar region. This is very exciting to me because this is the first true full Pokemon game on a Nintendo home console, and the first new Pokemon adventure on the Nintendo Switch that is not a remake. I think this game looks fantastic and is a step in the right direction for the franchise. So get ready to catch them all when Pokemon Sword and Shield releases on November 15th. On November 19th, we are getting a little game called Munchkin Quacked Quest coming to us digitally only for $24.99. Straight from Nintendo.com. Dive into Munchkin Quacked Quest and rediscover the parody, puns, and humor from the hit card game Munchkin by Steve Jackson. Gather gold, throw your foes and friends into sacrifice pits, collect ducks, eliminate the monsters from reanimated skeletons to the potted plant and even the plutonium dragon, and reach the highest level to win the game. After all, there's only one spot at the top and you just found a chainsaw. Sometimes the enemy is next to you on the couch. Play solo or with up to 4 players in couch mode and adventure through deadly dungeons where enemies lurk. Be careful, sometimes the most dangerous enemy is sitting right next to you. Be the fastest and most cunning or the most effective at accomplishing the crazy objectives of each dungeon. Capture ducks, slay monsters, defeat bosses while throwing your friends/foes into pits and smashing furniture. Everything you wish you could have done at your cousin's wedding. 4 races and 4 classes available. Become a fashionable orc priest, a grumpy dwarf wizard, or dozens of other combinations. Management will deny any liability in case of a botched spell or missing limb. More than 20 weapons to wield for hitting, cutting, shooting, hugging, burning, smashing, or knocking down more than 15 different enemies or friends, just in case, they get in your way. And if you want to hit harder, run faster, or be even more annoying to the other players, there are 9 almost lethal items to choose from. Randomly generated dungeons for infinite replay value. You will never need to purchase another game, ever. Customized experience. Choose player mode and game duration and let the backstabbing, loot grabbing, slaying, and betraying commence. I personally am a huge fan of the Munchkin card game, and this looks like a really fun video game adaptation of the card game. Turning Munchkin the card game into a dungeon crawling looter similar to Diablo was actually a really smart move. And you could backstab your own friends and family when Munchkin Quacked Quest releases on November 19th. Next up on the list is Children of Morta, coming to us digitally for $21.99 or physically for $34.99. Straight from Nintendo.com. Children of Morta sets its story in a distant land but copes with themes closer to our daily lives than one would expect. It is a story of simple emotions we all know so well and value more than sometimes we dare to admit. Love and hope, longing and uncertainty, ultimately loss and sacrifice we are willing to make to save the ones we care for. Embark on the adventure of an extraordinary family of heroes. With the corruption spreading through the land, guardians of the mountain Morta have to stand up against the ancient evil. But it's not a story about saving the universe. It's a story about a valiant family standing together while the world around them is being devoured by darkness. Some of the features include roguelite gameplay with strong storyline, 6 playable characters, An emotional tale focused on a family of heroes, a diverse set of skills, passive and active items modifying each run, multiple dungeons set in different biomes, and a rich world full of magic and history. Now this roguelike game really has my attention with its gorgeous pixel art graphics, deep storyline, and robust and varied gameplay. It looks to be one absolutely incredible roguelite action RPG. And you can embark on this epic adventure with an epic family of heroes when Children of Morta releases on the Nintendo Switch on November 20th. And last up on the list is a very unique game called Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, releasing to us digitally only for $19.99 on November 29th. Straight from Nintendo.com. Where the Water Tastes Like Wine is a narrative adventure game about traveling, sharing stories, and surviving manifest destiny. Featuring gorgeous hand-drawn illustrations, Where the Water Tastes Like Wine combines 2D visuals with a 3D overworld US map. Players wander across a folkloric Depression-era United States at their own pace, meeting strangers with their own stories to tell. Through these interactions, players will be able to collect unique stories which can then be retold to unlock new interactions. In this way, the in-game stories themselves act as a currency to progress through the game, and it's up to the player to pair the right story with the unique needs of each of the characters that you will encounter throughout your travels. Only through these right pairings will characters reveal their true selves and bestow you with the most powerful stories. The true ones which reveal something about their own lives. And Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, stories organically take on a life of their own as they grow larger and transform as they're told and retold. Now even after reading that and watching the trailer, I'm still not entirely sure what kind of game this is, but the beautiful hand-drawn art style, incredible music, and trippy atmosphere has me so intrigued that I had to include it on the list. I am really looking forward to learning more about this very unique game and checking it out when Where the Water Tastes Like Wine releases on November 29th. And lastly, I do have a few honorable mentions. These are actually games that have already released digitally earlier in the year, and we are getting a physical edition of each one of these games in the month of November, and I wanted to shout them out so that you collectors out there can be aware that you can pick these games up physically. And those games are A Hat in Time on November 8th for $39.99, My Friend Pedro on November 12th for $29.99, Risk of Rain 2 on November 15th for $39.99, and finally Slay the Spire on November 15th, also for $39.99. So there you have it, folks. 11 games coming out in the month of November 2019 for the Nintendo Switch that I think deserve your attention. Inevitably, even after I post this video, there will be new games announced, new games shadow dropped and released for the month of November that I just didn't know about, therefore couldn't include on the list. But the games that I'm most looking forward to on this list are new Super Lucky Tales, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Sparklite, and Children of Morta. Those 4 games are really at the top of my list for the month. But let me know in the comments down below what games on this list you're most looking forward to for the month of November. And also let me know if there are any games that I missed that you think I should have included on this list and why. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure and hit that like button. It really helps out the channel, and I greatly appreciate all you fine people out there. If you're new to the channel and not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so that you can join the RetroWolf family and stay up to date on future videos. Until next time, keep playing games and having a good time, and I will see you all in the next video. Later.